Recently, I hiked down a dangerous embankment to go talk to a high-volume whitewater sports photographer to talk to him about his business. Hey guys, Jeff McLean here. A good friend of mine happens to spend every single day of his summer, right into the early fall, sitting alongside one of the major rivers here in Montana. He gained access through special permissions to be on this particular section of private property along the Clark Fork River here in Montana. And he owns and operates a high-volume sports photography company called Montana River Photography, where he photographs people having a great time coming down this river. Day in and day out, this guy is down there along the river, and I thought it would be fun to go down there and interview him and just kind of talk about his photographic process, talk about how he gets these images out to people, and kind of what that's like for him day in and day out. We're shooting with an older Canon C100 Mark II. Does a fine job, although we're having some issues that day with some of our autofocusing and whatnot. So the production quality is not super high on this video, but you'll get the idea. You know, one thing that's kind of interesting that at the time I wasn't able to even mention in this video, but shortly after that, he was sending me some photos of some rattlesnakes that he encountered down in this area. So along with the other occupational hazards that he runs into down there, the hot sun, dehydration, falling down this embankment to hurt himself, sprained ankle issues, a number of things that could be considered occupational hazards down there. And yet, you also have bears. We've seen bears as we're kayaking down that river for sure, and snakes. So these are some of the things that he contends with up here in Montana to make the living that he does as a high-volume sports photographer. Let's go talk to Mike. Yo, Mike.
What up, Jeff?
What's up, man?
How's it going?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So, what's going on today?
Not a whole lot. Welcome to the office.
Nice, it's beautiful today.
It really is.
So, dude, it's the end of August, and you had told me that, kind of the beginning of September, things really quiet down for you down here. How many total days in a row do you spend down here on this river?
Typically, I spend about 80 to 90 straight days in this gorge photographing. So rain, hail, lightning, I'm down here every day. A lot of sun, heat, and smoke this year is dealing with that, but every day, all day, I'm down here photographing rafts.
So how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for 12 years.
12 years of coming down here for 70 to 80 days solid every summer.
Absolutely.
So you must enjoy this.
I do.
'Cause it's pretty hot down here, blazing sun.
Yep.
What do you do to keep yourself cool and?
I got the river right there. I jump in the river, but I sometimes hike up in the shade, and I have umbrellas, which isn't always dependable because I get strong winds that come through and just demolish umbrellas, and pretty much everything that comes down here has potential to be destroyed. So I just kind of figure it out.
How'd you get into this line of work?
I got into this, I was raft guiding and running the river and working for a company, 10,000 Waves, and there was a photographer, Jeff, before me, and he did the photos, and I always knew about it. I loved his website. It was actually an awesome educational resource for me to read the rapid and figure out what was going on. And he stopped operating, and I just kind of got a wild idea I could be the gorge photographer and pick up and start doing this, and that's what I did. I was 24 years old and just started a business.
So on the busiest day of the whole year, how many rafts or boaters come down this river?
It's crazy. Like the Alberton Gorge is, don't entirely quote me on this, but one of the most run rivers in Montana. So on a busy day, I could see hundreds of rafts. I'm taking, upwards of 5,500 photos a day on weekends.
So 5,500 photos per day on the weekend.
And I process that the day of. They are online by the next morning, and I'm back here at the river shooting more.
So tell me about the camera system you're using.
So this year I am using a Canon R5. I switched to a mirrorless system. I'm pretty stoked on it. There's a lot of great advantages I found with this camera body, and I'm actually using a 70 to 200. I have the mirrorless 70 to 200. I absolutely despise it because you have to crank it about a quarter more, and action comes in so fast at me that it hinders my ability to capture it with that system. So Canon, hoping you come out with a better 70 to 200.
So how do you get 5,500 photos crushed through in a night? Give me a brief of your process.
Yeah, so I use Lightroom. I choose to use Lightroom because I can do a lot of stuff with editing, things like that. But essentially I import the photos. I don't build previews, stuff like that for speed. I actually do a pretty detailed organization system because, I shoot 100 rafts out here and I want it to be really easy for people to find their rafts. So I go through every single raft and, essentially build a tree structure. I'm dropping the raft, for instance, the company and the raft number, date, company, raft number. And I just go through and just crush it out really fast. I then export photos to my desktop, and then I use Zenfolio to host my photos, and they have actually a pretty nice uploader system where I can just drop that tree structure into the program and it populates all the rafts for the day, just like I have it on my hard drive within Zenfolio. And I have a nicely organized, easy to locate photos system. So when I'm out here photographing, I'm extremely calculated in the shots that I take. I could have, 10 boats coming through at once, and I'm trying to create, an experience of them running that rapid. So I start with, landscape shots, wide, medium, zoomed in, and I get them approaching the rapid, coming through. And every shot that I take, I'm thinking about my post-processing and how I'm going to organize those photos and get them online and how I can really fast do that. So, sometimes it's very fast taking a shot of the rock to make a marker in my head so that I remember, there's a raft that I need to pay attention to. So, I'm always thinking about that workflow and creating this cohesive package for every raft that comes through. And there's a lot of thought and process. And I've been doing it so many years that it actually becomes almost like a meditative state of just chaos with all this action coming through at me. And I'm just kind of photographing it intuitively. At this point, know how to do it, but I'm also always thinking, how can I do better? How can I get that landscape a little better, that action shot framed a little better? And I think that's a good way to think in any business you're doing because, it keeps you sharp and not just kind of lagging.
What are some of the unique challenges of this work?
Some of the unique challenges for this work, for me, it's really a test of endurance. It's beautiful, it's wonderful. I'm out here on the river all day, every day, but it's also, I'm in a dangerous gorge. I mean, these rocks, when it rains, are just like ice. I'm dealing with sun. This year it was a lot of smoke. extreme heat, and I'm pushing, I was a lot of days 11 hours out here photographing, and then I'm coming home and post-processing, getting all the photos online, doing orders. So there's days I'm pulling 18-hour workday and then waking up and doing it again. So for me, it's really just taking care of myself the best I can. I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of Red Bull in that equation for me, but I gotta, I'm in the elements. Anything can come at any time and hit me. I get hit with storms, and I gotta keep my gear from breaking. I gotta keep myself from breaking. So I'd say that's maybe some of the most challenging elements. There's a lot there, but
some occupational hazards.
A lot of occupational hazards, yep. I mean, this rapid. If you go to the other rapid I shoot, I'm, spending 10 hours on a cliff with my tripod. If I, get dizzy or take a wrong step, I'm going off that cliff onto a pile of rocks in the river, lights out.
What's your favorite flavor of Red Bull?
Every flavor there is. Really,
oh, you hear that, Red Bull? You hear that?
Please sponsor me. I am your biggest fan. I love the coconut, I love the peach, I love traditional Red Bull, and the sugar-free is really great. I'll pretty much, if it's Red Bull, I'll drink it.
What's the most amount of Red Bulls that you would consume down here in a day? What's your record?
Somewhere in the realm of 1,000 milligrams of caffeine, which equates to, I don't know, 5 or 6 Red Bulls. I'm actually
like
on those
10 cups of coffee.
I'm actually on those Bang energy drinks now, and that's 300 milligrams. So.
Oh man.
I think I over-exaggerate. I don't know that I'm at 1,000, more like 700 milligrams.
Nice.
Sorry, I was trying to impress you.
And what are some of the other vices that you partake in down here?
This is my river dog, Bodie. He's the love of my life, Jeff. I love him dearly. He's everything to me.
And he's got a nickname, right?
He's got many nicknames. Bodie, Grebus, Marius. But really, he keeps me sane out here when I'm pulling the long days. This guy, I'm more worried is Bodie okay than worrying about myself. And it actually takes the edge off. He comes and hangs with me, and I spend a lot of time in this gorge alone, but I have Bodie with me every day, so it keeps me from going totally insane. I might be a little insane, but this guy, I would kill and die for him.
Seems like he's used to being down here.
He's used to being down here. He's got it pretty good. I mean, hangs with Dad all day on the river. He likes watching the rafts go by and swimming, and he's living a good life.
So if you were talking to somebody who was interested in this genre of photography, what advice would you give them to get started in something like this?
I would say know your subject, know the market, understand what it is that makes it so special. Why is it that somebody would want to buy your photos? Like for me, I offer a perspective and ability to capture stuff that people just can't get with their iPhones on the river. So think about what you could do as a unique service to provide that for clients. And really think about your workflow. Like if you're doing a high volume sports photography company, like timing is everything. And I have these photos out like the next day. So really think about your workflow and how it is to structure that so that you can turn those photos around and get them up and available for people to enjoy and purchase. So my other advice would be something really helpful when I got started is work hard. Be the first one on the river and the last one on the river. Get to know people, become part of the community. I've been successful out here because people just can depend on me, and they know Mike's out there every day on that rock photographing. And I've become part of this river community here, and I've made my business and website a valuable resource to river runners that are coming through the gorge. And so I think whatever you're doing in a high volume sports, like, think about how you can be part of that community and what can you bring as a valuable asset to enhance that sport and community.
Nice. So what other than the business of what you do, what gets you up in the morning? What keeps you stoked about doing this?
Yeah, so I think there's got to be something greater than just, running, making money and all that. That's all important to have a sustainable business. But, for me, I love the river. I'm a whitewater kayaker myself, and I think these pictures are important. I know from when I used to raft guide, a lot of this are, families, and, people are coming together and enjoying this gorgeous location in Montana, and those trips are really special. So for me, even when it's raining and cold, if I know there's rafts coming out here, that's a special trip, and I'm really committed to documenting that and having people be able to get those photos if they love them. And I know I have actually a print in my office when I was a little kid. I don't even remember the trip, but I went rafting in Colorado, and I have this big print in my office, and it's just crazy to think, 30 years later, that print is still on my wall, documented, and it brings a smile to my face. So I hope to provide that for other people.
Nice, man. Well, nice talking to you. Thanks for the info. Good to see you.
Cool.
Have fun out there.
So the thing I like about this is, look at how hard this guy's working. He's down there every single day throughout the entire summer in Montana, dealing with the heat, dealing with the sun, dealing with dehydration. It's very dry in Montana, hanging out in, this relatively treacherous area day in and day out to make his living as a photographer. So photography isn't just like a service, where you can just, those photographers are like, I shoot everything. It's like, well, you probably shoot everything and you're kind of mediocre at all those things, versus the people who are like, Mike is a specialist. He shoots this particular activity and he knows what to look for to get the best shot possible for the client. And then that's the product that he's selling. So really your photography is a product that you're selling, not so much a service to show up and create a certain thing. So if you align yourself with a specific product, it makes that easier to figure out who your target audience is for that specific product. So if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. You didn't, know what to do. You can leave a comment down below. Please hit that subscribe button if you'd like more of this content. You can hit that little bell as well. It'll notify you when new videos are up. Thanks for watching. See you again.